What is your most controversial investing opinion that people would disagree with?
I think almost anything that comes out of my mouth seems to be controversial as it relates to investing. Um, the fact that I don't ever look at stock price or try not to, and I don't care what a stock is trading at. I don't care about fundamentals. I don't care about technicals. I don't care about anything other than one piece of information that I think is going to meaningfully impact that company that other people underappreciate. So I basically buy a stock when I think I've come across something that other people haven't noticed yet or don't fully appreciate. And I exit the position as soon as the world comes to appreciate what I did when I entered the position. So I call it like the point of information parity, when the rest of the world sees what you see. And when you invest in the stock is at an information imbalance, right? So it's super unconventional. It's like, I call it social arb. Some people call it attention arb. I just try to identify things a little bit quicker than other people. That's it. And really the best way to do that is by removing yourself from all of the noise, all of the Fed noise, all of the macro noise, all the political noise, all the noise of what influencers are talking about and in the market every day. So like people just don't believe that you can do that and not care about PE or revenue or fundamentals, not care about technicals, not care about anything and actually make money.
What IPO are you most excited about?
Anthropic.
What do you think about the SpaceX IPO?
This is like such a raw topic for me because I invested in SpaceX at $33 billion and the fund that I invested in claimed to have run out of money to pay their legal bills in California at $220 billion and forced us out of the stock. They sold the fund. And I think it's because they wanted to get their carry because they immediately said, well, there's another fund we're working on to rebuy SpaceX, blah, blah, blah. And it's more cost efficient. I got pulled out of SpaceX at $220 billion. And it really upsets me now watching this IPO because my plan was to always hold it through the IPO.
Now, you did make like 8x.
Yeah, but it would have made a lot more, right? And I was so upset at the time. I was like, I'm not reinvesting because I had to pay all this carry. So I would have had less money so it's basically like I got screwed. And out of spite, I wanted nothing to do with SpaceX at that point. And here we are.
But aren't you seeing right now a lot of secondary shares? They're saying that like, hey, maybe we're not going to honor that. This secondary share offering might not be real. Are you worried about any of them?
I see that stuff. I think that's just to dissuade people from doing more of it. I don't think that Sam Altman or Elon or Anthropic are actually going to go to investors who invested through an SPV that was maybe unauthorized and say, we're taking your shares back. They don't want that PR hell. It's the wrong thing to do to the investor because it's not the investor's fault, right? Most of these investors didn't understand that. So I don't think they're going to actually do any of that. I'm invested in a few of those deals. I'm not concerned. SpaceX, I don't know, guys. Like, I'm not going to buy the IPO. So I'm not saying it's a bad investment. I'm just not interested in it. I don't have any alpha on SpaceX that's special that the rest of the world doesn't already know. And I don't make investments unless I know something that I think is meaningful that other people underappreciate.
What do you know about Anthropic that other people don't?
We don't have that many models, first of all, right? If you look at what Anthropic has done over the past 9 months, the biggest issue with Anthropic is they had issues monetizing. They had a really good model, but OAI was monetizing really well. Now Anthropic is monetizing unbelievably well. They've won the trust of enterprise. OAI is also going to be really big in enterprise, and so is Google. But Anthropic is a company that has been really prudent. They have a founder that is not as hated as Sam Altman, right? Is not as controversial as Sam Altman. And I just think what they're doing in enterprise is disgustingly amazing. Like the traction that they're getting across enterprise at a global level is wild, and it's really sticky. So there's just not a lot of competition for what they do. They're going to end up being one of the 3 big players globally in terms of models. And they're going to have a tremendous amount of leverage that comes with that.
Do you have any opinion when it comes to Bitcoin?
No opinion. I had the same opinion on Bitcoin that I've had for the past 8 or 9 years. I have some of it. I think for the most part, as wealth transfers from old people to young people are more likely to have some of their investments in Bitcoin. So there's this long tail of increased demand in Bitcoin that over the course of the next 20 years should be a massive tailwind, and Bitcoin would theoretically float up. I don't think about Bitcoin. I don't try to trade Bitcoin. I do think there are risks. There are risks with security, right? In a world where computing gets to a point where Bitcoin maybe is not secure anymore, that's a massive risk. I don't have enough Bitcoin that I care. I know you guys are big. Dave is big in it too. My YouTube partner. I would never be in it that big. I don't understand having more than a point or 2 or 3 in Bitcoin.
Now, I gotta say, one thing that I've noticed by talking to a lot of entrepreneurs is that all of them want to use AI, but they don't know how it'll actually work inside their business. Like, it's one thing to use AI to write an email, but it's another to have it handle incoming calls, set appointments, answer questions, and talk to customers in real time.
And that's where today's sponsor, 11 Agents by 11 Labs, comes in. It's a platform that lets businesses build real-time AI voice agents for sales, support, operations, inbound calls, and more.
What's really impressive is just how fast it is to set up. You could launch voice agents in minutes, and they could speak in over 70 languages. Here's an example.
¿Podrías decirme qué tipo de ayuda necesitas?
It also works with tools businesses already use like Salesforce, HubSpot, Zendesk, Google Calendar, and Twilio. So instead of having to change up your entire workflow, it fits right into the systems that you already have.
And you could train these agents using your own knowledge base, SOPs, and policies. That way, the responses seem consistent within your business instead of just sounding generic.
Plus, with expressive mode, they give you way more control over the tone and delivery, so the conversations sound way more natural and human.
So try out 11 Agents by going to 11labs.io/icedcoffeehour to get started today for free. Again, that link is down below in the description. Thank you so much. Now let's get back to the episode.